Hello everyone, hope you are well and thank you for joining us once again for another slice of Shrewsbury Town Football Club nostalgia. Today we are going to focus on the remarkable events of January the 4th, 2003, the day that Everton came to Gay Meadow for one of those classic FA Cup third round ties. Everton at the time were flying high, top 5 in the Premier League. Shrewsbury, on the other hand, struggling a little, 18th in what is now League Two. Town, massive underdogs, but what a day it proved to be. Town pulling off a sensational 2-1 victory, thanks to 2 goals from today's special guest. Delighted to have the company today of Nigel Jemson. Hello, Nigel. How are you?
Good morning. Great, thank you.
Excellent. Well, Nigel, what a day it was. We're going back a long time, aren't we? 17 years now. What are your recollections of that day then?
Crikey, when you say it like that, you think, where are all the years gone to? It only seems like a few years ago, but that was a fantastic day for the football club. The build up to it, the hype around the town. Obviously, I didn't live in the town, but the local lads let us know what a great feeling it was around the town. Everyone was buzzing. Premiership club coming to Gay Meadow, as people are well aware, not the greatest of pitches, but it was a typical League Two ground, friendly, family wise, and it was always going to be a test for Everton, to deal with the surroundings and the pitch, and driving in on the morning of the game, I think I drove in. I think maybe Ian Wone and Mark Atkins as we normally did. It was funny because I got a text off one of my old teammates at Sheffield Wednesday, Mark Bright, saying, "Somebody's got to be a hero today. Let it be you." And little did I know that come at the end of the game, I had about 100 messages, and fortunately for myself, I got the 2 goals, and Shrewsbury got round to the next round.
And the FA Cup was very good to you and the football club that season. If you cast our minds back, in the first round, you were on target against Stafford Rangers, 4-0 win. Then you got a couple against Barrow, 3-1 win, and then came the draw at Everton at home. They were flying high. They had this young boy who was on the cover of the matchday programme, a 17-year-old by the name of Wayne Rooney, who was making his FA Cup debut that day. You've always got to have hope, you've always got to be confident, but hand on heart, did you think you had a chance, given how he was going for Shrewsbury at the time and how well Everton were doing?
Well, that's the beauty of the FA Cup, isn't it? It's for the lower league clubs, it's their day, it's their cup final. We're not expected to go and win it, but Kevin, obviously the gaffer, is always put into our head that if we play to our expectations, how we could play, and Everton had an off day, there's a chance that we could maybe an upset. Did we believe we could beat them? Yes, I did. But like I said, for us to beat Everton, we had to play to our best, and the pitch was obviously going to be a bit of a leveler, and Everton had to have an off day. And as it happens, we were absolutely superb on the day. I wouldn't say Everton were poor. I just thought we were superb, and I think we fully deserved the win at the end of the day.
So it's 0-0 in the first half. Shrewsbury free kick at the station end, and we're wondering who's going to take it. Ian Wone, your old pal from Forest, of course, was renowned as a set-piece expert. But somebody else had a go instead. I can picture it now, that lovely TV shot of the ball bending in past the Everton wall, and the goalkeeper, Richard Wright, doing his best to keep it out, and in it went. Had you been practicing then? Was it always likely to be yourself taking it, Nigel?
You imagine Nigel Jemson, Mark Atkins and Ian Wone around the ball. what do you think that conversation was going to be? I mean, Woney's got a wonderful left foot. Akko obviously got tremendous ability, and myself, I was a captain. I don't think it really mattered who would have taken it because we've all got a bit of quality on the ball. But I just saw there was a bit of an opportunity to bend it around the wall. So I stepped up and took it. To see it fly in the top corner was fantastic. I think it was Richard Wright in goal. I think for Everton at the time. I don't think he had much chance of saving it. And then just running off and the ground just erupted. It was just an amazing feeling.
Everton pushed for an equaliser. It came as well in the second half. Nicholas Alexandersson, wasn't it, the Swedish World Cup player? At that stage, you're thinking we're going back to Goodison for a replay, which would have been a great occasion for the football club. Have that belief to keep driving and driving.
I think the gaffer and the chairman would have loved it to go back to Goodison Park, but as players, you want to win a game, and they got a level. They levelled, but let's make this real. We deserve to be winning. We're disappointed that we've conceded a goal. We should have had a penalty. I think myself and Luke Rodgers we caused them havoc all game. We had Richard Wright played very well in goal for them that day. But as you say, when they do get an equaliser, the neutral people would have thought they'll go on and win it comfortably. But it just showed what quality we had on the pitch, what endeavour, the willingness to win and fight for each other. And, we left it late, of course we did, but it was well worth the wait in the end.
Wasn't it just, last couple of minutes, free kick to town. You can picture it so clearly. You must have watched it over and over again as well subsequently. Free kick in front of the Riverside and the Wakeman end. And I'm sure you knew where Ian Wone was going to put it. And that little run to the near post and in it goes 2-1 and headlines. Extraordinary.
Yeah, we managed to get, I think it was a free kick in the corner. And, obviously, like I say, it was ideal for Woney to whip a ball in with his left foot. The quality he's got on it. And, it's funny because we actually looked at each other beforehand, and it was like as if we knew where we were going to put it, and they knew where my run was going to be. Luckily, I got in front of the defender and got a glancing head on it. Went to the back of the net, and I don't think I've ran as fast celebrated a goal in all my life as what I did then. And I could just see it. I think I'm not sure whether Luke Rodgers was being subbed that day. He was running on with his jacket on and everything. It was a big pile up, but I came from the pile of bodies and I was absolutely shattered. And I think the gaffer brought me off, I think, the last minute or so. I think we played about 3 minutes of extra time. So it was nerve-wracking, but at that point, even if they scored, we're going to be guaranteed a replay. But overall, I think it was a convincing win. And, one of the major upsets of FA Cup football. I'm glad to be part of Shrewsbury Town's history in the FA Cup.
Tell us about the scenes after the game, the celebrations.
They're a bit vague actually in there because people are talking to the opposition and you're coming back into the dressing rooms and let's face it, the dressing rooms weren't actually fantastic over there at that time, but they were a typical League Two dressing room, quite big though, to be honest. But yeah, everyone's going mad in there, and obviously the photographers wanted to come in and take pictures and stuff like that. But with being an experienced player and obviously having something like that, it was more the younger lads were, not jumping around like idiots. But obviously, what a fantastic result and a day it was for them, and for the local lads, I was delighted for them, to be honest, because they could walk around the town knowing that their club, their family club, have made a major upset in the FA Cup. And, I think for myself, I just, got in the car after, I think, obviously my family, mum and dad was there, and my kids. But I just drove back home, and it was surreal. It was just like a normal game, and you just got back, and I just wanted to put my feet up and enjoy the night, really.
Now, if I remember correctly, you got Wayne Rooney's shirt. I think potentially after the game. I'm not sure. It had been a frustrating day, clearly, for Wayne Rooney, who had been kept quiet by Peter Wilding and company.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think I can really remember the whole team actually as it goes. I can remember 3/4 of it, but that's what happens when you get older. You get a bit, you lose your memory a little bit. But yeah, it's fantastic. I'm not sure whether I got Rooney's shirt or not, but for myself, I mean, Wayne Rooney obviously went on to play a massive part in the Premiership and England's all-time goal scorer. But on the day, our team kept him quiet.
Absolutely. Did you go home and watch it all again on Match of the Day that same night?
Well, as you can imagine, we got a lot of publicity through it. It was very enjoyable. The days after that, obviously we talk about it, and then we are waiting for the draw. And obviously we got Chelsea at home, which was another cracker for the town and for the football club. Televised as well, so it made a lot of money for the football club. So obviously the chairman had a big smile on his face for quite a while. But obviously it was always going to be difficult then to be Chelsea when you got the likes of John Terry and Zola and a lot playing. And we did well. Well, unfortunately we lost 4-0. But it was funny because I had a replica free kick, and I think it's Cutaccini, in goal, and I think it was an even better one than the Everton goal, and he managed to tip it over the bar. So they've obviously done the homework.
Yeah, absolutely. You made the cover of the Chelsea programme, by the way, for our fourth-round tie, which was shown live on television. The Everton game in particular, Nigel, where does that stand in your career? Obviously, you played at the highest level, but that really propelled you back into national spotlight, if you like. Where does it rank doing that for Shrewsbury Town, the 2 goals and playing your part that day?
Yeah, it plays a massive part. I mean, for a striker, coming towards the end of his career, it was always nice to go out and to show people you still got that bit of quality. It wasn't just about Nigel Jemson on the Everton game. It was about the whole team and the whole squad. The club itself. I'm paid to score the goals. Unfortunately for me, I was the one that scored the goals. But you can't forget about the work that Luke Rodgers did. Playing alongside. I always say that and as a striker, you have your partnership, and myself and Luke. We were on fire at times and were unplayable. Luckily for me, he had the legs that he could gamble on my flicks and my vision, and he went on to do well for himself, Luke. But the day itself was a bit funny, really, because listen, I've had a good career, and I scored the win in the League Cup in 1990. But the way the world's changed, the way football's changed, the social media side of it and the media side of it has gone to a different level. So I got more publicity probably scoring those 2 goals against Everton than I did, scoring the winner for Nottingham Forest in the League Cup final. So it was. Listen, you're never going to not accept the publicity and everything else, but it was a team effort, but it was an enjoyable part of my career. Shrewsbury Town, I think it was 3 good years there. And it just, the downside to my spell there was unfortunately it ended in with a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, the disappointment of relegation from the Football League coming a few months after that extraordinary day against Everton. What was it like to be part of, Nigel, that difficult run that the club found themselves in, culminating in dropping out of the Football League? Thankfully for just 12 months, because it came straight back up. But what was it like being part of
that? Mixed emotions, really. It was obviously, we put Shrewsbury Town on the map with the Everton game, the FA Cup. But then again, when you get relegated, I'm sure that the supporters would have liked to stay in the Football League and to beat Everton, but that wasn't to be. We always thought that we were well, it proved that we were more than good enough, but once you're down there, people don't realise how difficult it is. Then people look at the league and see you've got 3 or 4 games in hand, but you're only about 5 points behind. we had some bad luck along the line, and we had to play quite a few games. We just couldn't win a game. And you get into a bit of a rut, and people are getting frustrated, and the gaffer and Foggy were pulling the hair out. In Foggy's view, literally pulling your hair out. But it was just a weird situation you're in. You go from such a high to obviously such a low, and for myself, I had a fantastic relationship with Kevin Ratcliffe and Roland. I was the captain of the football club, which I was very proud to be. But for the gaffer to lose his job after what he'd done was hard to take. I was a little bit disappointed that I didn't get asked to be a caretaker with Mark Atkins, but Roland put me in my place. But we got relegated, and obviously at the time I was out of contract, and I had a long chat with Roland after the end of the season to say what went wrong and what was right. He wanted me to apply for the job, but I don't think it was ever really going to happen that I was going to get the job. They went for more of an experienced person. I think the money that we made from the cut run enabled the club to get back into promotion into the Football League because we were paying decent wages at the time. So, yes, it was very disappointed, and a real low for me in my football career because I've not managed to have very few. But 34 years of age to leave Shrewsbury relegated, and then that was my Football League career virtually over. Really, then I didn't where I was travelling, it was too far to travel. I didn't really want to play in the Conference. I thought I could have stayed in the Football League, but for whatever reasons, the offers didn't really come, and that was the end of it, really.
You did have 3 years at the football club. Your record, just looking it up earlier, 127 league and cup matches for Shrewsbury Town and 43 goals, 15 in your first season, 11 in your second, and of course you had the injury and missed maybe the last 3 months of the season, and then 17 in that final season, the Everton season, the relegation from the Football League season. It's a good record, a good goal scoring return.
It wasn't bad for an old fella. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm not sure with the Everton game. I don't know if I was top scorer in the FA Cup that year as well. I'm not sure. Listen, I had fantastic times there. The gaffer looked after the older ones with days off because, in the mornings travelling from Nottingham to Shrewsbury, through Cannock, everything was tough. Sometimes it took us 2.5 hours to get there, an hour and a half back. So he gave us a couple of days off during the week just to recharge the batteries. I think sometimes the younger players resented that, but that was great man management for the gaffer. But it was a great spell to finish my career, really. And I've got a great relationship with Roland if I see him, and the secretary I managed to see when he was at A United as well. So yeah, it was just a happy time, and got no regrets whatsoever going there. But just unfortunately, like I said, he just finished on relegation, and and then realistically finished my footballing, my league career. I did go over to play Northern Ireland for a year afterwards, which was good. I just travelled over for games, and then I went into semi-pro for about 5 years. So I kind of played till I was 40, which wasn't bad. Yeah, it was a fantastic club, and it's good to see them in a nice place.
You mentioned Luke Rogers. That partnership you had with him was full of goals for Shrewsbury Town. How much did you enjoy playing alongside Luke? He was a youngster coming through at the time. He had such fantastic pace and was a really good finisher. He seemed to really hit it off as a partnership.
Yeah, Luke's he was a great lad. He was a bit of a loose cannon at times, but almost 18, 19-year-old kids. We had some great youngsters at the time there. The gaffer gave the youngsters a chance if they were good enough. Jamie Tolley, Ryan Lowe, Ian Dunbavin. So a great blend of youngsters and experience. And Luke was we complemented each other. He had the energy and he had the speed. I had the vision, the guile. I held the ball up, and he gambled up and flicks. And on our day, we're as good as anyone in that league. And it'd be interesting to see how many goals we did get together over our spell. I know Luke enjoyed playing alongside me. Yeah, he's like I say, it was a good partnership, and Lou went on to to play. I think he played in America, didn't he? I think for Red Bull with Thierry Henry. I never did ask him who was better, me or Thierry Henry, though.
You know the answer.
Yeah, I
do. All these years on, Nigel, you still follow the Shrewsbury Town's fortunes and follow the results and what have you?
Yeah, it's funny. I've been back to the ground only recently. We talk about what I did at the football club when I was captain. But when I did go back for the first time, I had a word with Roland. I wasn't too happy about they hadn't got my picture up in the reception area, but they got brownies. I was a bit gutted on that. But he was a good servant to the football club, Brownie. Obviously I look at. If I look at all my club's results at the end of on the Saturday, I'll be spending about half an hour looking for every club. It's a great club. I've not actually seen a game there, but I'd love to go back as a guest there and show my appreciation to the crowd. So hopefully, with Roland, he might sort that out this next season.
Are you still involved with football at all, Nigel?
I've got. I work at Nottingham Forest on match days. I'm a host there, so obviously I do the hospitality and a bit of an ambassador role there, which I love. Everyone knows the affection I have for the football club and the time I had there. And obviously I live in the Nottingham area, but I've got two sons now. One's 21, Charlie. He was a scholar at Nottingham Forest, but didn't just get offered a pro contract, so he's playing semi-pro football. But I still firmly believe that he's got something there, and he's not too old yet to get back into full-time football. And I've got a 17-year-old son, Max, who's a scholar at Doncaster Rovers. So when I'm not working at Nottingham Forest, I spend my time trying to support the boys and go and support those. Like my mum and dad used to travel the country to watch me. So I love watching the boys play football, and I'm very proud of them both.
Fantastic. And just finally, bringing it back full circle to the Everton game from 2003, how many times have you sat down and watched those goals again over the years, or spoken about them, or been reminded about them by Shrewsbury Town supporters in particular?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a few follow me on Twitter, so I get a few snapshots of actions on some of the games. Of course I watch them. My dad has done me DVDs of all my career, so I've got hundreds of DVDs that I can stick at any time and watch them. The boys have watched them many times. So listen, you're never going to get sick of watching games where you score the winners in cup finals and big FA Cup upsets and stuff like that. So I'm very proud of my career. Sometimes I probably said too much sometimes, but that's the way it was. But people say about regrets. Possibly I've had one regret, and that was probably leaving Nottingham Forest at the time, because it didn't really kick off at Sheffield Wednesday. But I mean, when you're growing up as a young boy and you want to play football, it's not about how it is nowadays, the money, how many cars, how many houses you've got. It's about who can you play for. Can you play and represent your country? Can you play in major cup finals? And I was fortunate enough to go to Wembley quite a lot of times. Sheffield Wednesday, I didn't manage to get on the pitch, but we went to 2 cup finals then, the League and FA Cup final against Arsenal. I went to the Centenary Cup with Nottingham Forest in '88. I was to the League Cup final in 1990. I was unused player in the 91 FA Cup final. I went with, should I say this, Rotherham against Shrewsbury in the Auto Windscreen final, where I managed to get the 2 goals there.
Thanks for reminding us of that one, Nigel.
But like I say, I can't grumble. I've got fantastic memories, and something that I'll take with me till the day I die.
Fantastic memories to have shared with you today, Nigel, of that wonderful, wonderful day, January the 4th, 2003, when you made lots of Shrewsbury Town supporters very, very happy as Shrewsbury hit the headlines by knocking out Everton. Wish you I wish you well, yourself and your family, Nigel, at these difficult, unprecedented times. So thanks ever so much for joining us.
My pleasure, and all the best to Shrewsbury Town.
Thank you, Nigel. Thank you, Nigel. Well, that's about it for now. Thank you once again to everybody for joining us to take this trip down memory lane with Nigel Jemson. Stay safe, everybody, and hope to see you very soon. But for now, goodbye.